I am Yun Li. Come, take up your sword. We'll get to know each other once we've sparred. Oh, here you are. Swordmasters should greet each other with their swords. Old Metal, say hi. You're leaving? Actually, I suddenly have a craving for some good food. Let's go. I'll treat you. Don't worry, I have some pocket money from Grandpa. Swords have a temper. Sometimes you have to touch them to calm them down. Put the hilt of the sword in your hand, and it'll tell you what's wrong. In swordsmanship, skill alone isn't enough. Communication with the sword is equally important. For any sword technique, whether it be the avalanche chop or the boulder breaker, you have to vocalize your techniques when you train. Then you won't stumble over your words on the battlefield. A cursed sword may grant a warrior great power in an instant, but in the end, they will just be a walking corpse, driven by the sword. Victory is up to the wielder, not the sword. Old Metal here is an unrefined sword, into which I infuse cursed swords I've collected. So I also call it the Blade of Forged Remnants. But I guess Old Metal is a friendlier name. Right, Old Metal? There is an etiquette for appreciating a sword. First, observe the exterior. Second, feel the sword's temperament. It's best to touch it with your fingers to get a good sense of its inner quality. Lastly, and most importantly, get used to the feeling of living with it for the rest of your life. Why are the bad guys always using good swords? Why can't the bad guys take bad swords? For a craftsman, a pearl hidden from the light of day is a true waste. The reason I stash away all the swords I find into molten remains is not to destroy them, but to protect them until a suitable swordmaster arrives. The Xianzhou Ming is famous across the stars for its forging and metallurgy, and there are countless master craftsmen among its ranks. Most of them were Grandpa's apprentices. That includes Yingxing, the flying comet. Grandpa always treats me like a child. But come to think of it, at his age, who isn't a child to him? Every time I hear Grandpa and General Jingyuan talking, I start to fall asleep. Why can't they speak to each other the same way they talk to me? I can never understand conversations between generals. He has so many great swords that he never uses. Sometimes I can hear those swords crying. Is this what people mean when they say spoiled for choice? I prefer to make friends by sparring. After all, combat is more sincere than words. That carefree general of the Yao Qing is the same as me in that regard. Ah, yes. General Feixiao has a counselor by that name. I've heard that it's very, very difficult to see him, unless he reveals himself willingly. But usually, he's nowhere in sight. He always asks me to go eat hot pot with him. I know it's delicious, but I just can't eat that hot and spicy stuff. Whenever I'm on the Zhuming and I have time, I go visit Lingsha and Arden's Regia. Then, when I'm tired of playing, I rest my head on her lap. Lingsha always has this sweet, sweet aroma about her. You mean Yingxing? I've never met him in person, but Grandpa has mentioned him countless times. He's probably one of his most famous apprentices. I'd love to chat with that shard sword of his if I get the chance. The Luofu's High Elder? I once got to share a table with her in Arumali. We ate tons of scallion chicken and fried rice balls. We even exchanged numbers and agreed to come back to Arumali for a big dinner sometime. March is my first apprentice. She's talented and willing to put in the work. I'm quite pleased with her. If I could just hear her say that my teaching is better than Yanqing's, I would be over the moon. That judge from the Ten Lords Commission? She doesn't seem like a warrior, but that tail of hers has some fight in it. Ching Chue has the guts to grab March away right in front of me and go play Celestial Jade. But I can see she has experience. March might be able to learn a thing or two from her and apply it to her swordsmanship. After we got to know each other by sparring, I realized he was indeed a kind gentleman, but it was a little hard to understand him. And his sword was hard to understand too. A sword must be hammered and refined 1,000 times over before it can be forged into a weapon. My skills have improved. Time to treat myself to some yummy food. To finally hunt down and wipe out all cursed swords? I still have a long ways to go before then. I'm a little stronger. I can even hear my sword congratulating me. If it isn't the assistant teacher. Give me a hand here. March, stand closer. I'll teach you a few tricks for the battlefield. Yanqing, how about a rematch? Best of 3? No. 1 round. Are you okay? Grandpa always said it's bad to exercise after eating. Miss Lingsha, please let me handle the enemies up ahead. Getting to fight alongside the great General Fei Xiao is even getting old metal pumped up. So, the legendary figure has appeared.